All right. So this is why I shut down my 11K per month marketing agency. So this was a cold email B2B lead gen agency, right? Specifically targeting other marketing agencies. So what I would do as my service is I would send a bunch of cold emails on behalf of my clients. And then, you know, with those cold emails, get them more qualified sales calls booked on their calendar, right? So for a bit of context, I've been in the agency game for around 2 years now. I ran a real estate uh, agency, a Facebook ads agency for real estate agents. Did that for a year. Was making like 4 or 5K a month. Couldn't really break past it. I joined an expensive coaching program. It's actually quite known, and they were heavily focused on cold email. And I had, just for context, like I wasn't getting the best results in the program. However, all of the other coaches, all of the other students were vouching for me that I was working hard. So they thought it was like a vehicle issue. I mean, I later found out is literally just shiny object syndrome. And, the founder was just telling him what he would do if he were me, but he didn't really have the full context. Like, obviously I don't regret anything, but now knowing what I know now, I should have never stopped that Facebook ads marketing agency for real estate agents. Anyway, so I had a chat with the founder, and they're making like 500K a month plus at this point. Pretty sure he charges like 2K USD an hour for his time. So I just had a one-on-one with him just for courtesy, because I was such a killer, kind of like a celebrity-ish in the program. Not really, but so anyway, I get on this meeting and we go through the stats. He's like, "Oh, your stats are actually okay, but if I were you, I would do a cold email agency." Actually, his own words, and I have this video somewhere. But he said something like, "Start a cold email agency or you're gay. You already know how to make a VSL landing page. You already have the cold email set up, ready to go." So like, it was like on a Thursday, and he's like, "Get that ready by Monday or you're gay." Obviously, the guy's making bank. So I was like, why the fuck wouldn't I listen to him? Anyway, so that's when I started this cold email agency. Tried doing it in Australia. Landed. So I actually got 8 clients in my first month, right? And all of these were in Australia. After that, I realized that there's a huge TAM issue. So total addressable market issue in Australia, where essentially there wouldn't be enough people to email. My clients were churning after a couple months, right? And that's when I decided to then go to the US market. And during this time, I have just invested into another coaching program, which is really good. Like, it teaches you the whole lead gen funnel, content, ads, cold outreach, and partnerships were the main sources of traffic, right? And yeah, really dialed in my onboarding, fulfillment, my own lead gen, and yeah, managed to hit the big 10K per month, right? Which was super cool. However, I wasn't really satisfied. And this was around like April this year. And yeah, there was a point in April this year. Like I remember it's like just before Easter or like around Easter. There was a huge like cold email deliverability attack or whatever you call it. And the context behind this is Google and Outlook are consistently and actively trying to ban cold email. The way we're doing cold email is we're buying a bunch of secondary domains and email accounts, sending, thousands of emails. There's a point where I'm sending, over 100,000 emails in a month, right? Across myself and all my clients. And that's a big no-no. Like Google and Outlook are actively trying to crack down the cold emails. So what they're trying to do is everything cold email, they're going to flag it, mark it as spam. If there's any signs that you're doing this spamming cold email that like I do for myself and my clients, they're going to flag you straight away, right? So yeah, what next? Yeah, and the main reason being, after doing lots of research, spoke to lots of other guys doing the same thing as me on Twitter and stuff. And basically, since people are getting spammed by so many cold emails, like I'm talking like big corporate people, because of how easy it is to access and use instantly and smartly than all the other competitors, like any person with a brain cell can literally, spend a few money on domains, emails, start using instantly and start spamming a bunch of people, right? So since it's such easy access, like it's getting more saturated, more people are doing it. And the people who are actually just wanting to email within their own company and a few of their clients, they're getting spammed by cold emailers like me, right? So what they're doing is they're, people, these big corporations with, 10,000 plus employees who usually pay for Google Workspace, they end up paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to Google Workspace or Outlook to use their email services. Now they're switching to like Zoho as an example, which completely bans cold email, right? So yeah, that's pretty much what it was. And essentially a lot of my results and a lot of my clients' results has taken a huge dip. Before, I'm talking like early 2024, I couldn't sleep if I wasn't getting above a 10% reply rate. Now it's like if you have 2%, that's considered good. That's like 5 times worse. Like it's actually crazy. Anyway, so because of the coaching programs I was in, I was able to generate a lot of leads for myself, and I had no trouble signing clients because I was running my own outbound. I was running paid ads, like Facebook ads, and I was posting a lot of content on like Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. I would get inbounds naturally, and that's how I was able to break past that 10K per month, right? The issue was before with cold email, because that's my service, right? Like I was only doing cold email for my clients. And the issue was before I could take, like, no offense to like some of the people I worked with, but really trash businesses, like with no social presence, whatever, I could book them calls and they could sign clients just like that, right? However, now, since there's a huge deliverability problem, like the people who are getting into cold email is growing exponentially, things are getting more saturated. Now you can't just stand out with a good cold email, right? Like, you can't just say, hey, we can get you 5 to 10 new meetings or you don't pay. Do you want to get on a quick call with me to discuss further? And then you close them on that call. Like less than a year ago, you could do this. But now things have changed. The market's become more sophisticated and more saturated. You need to adapt. So naturally, the main thing is to do softer CTAs, or call to actions. So something like, instead of asking for a call, you ask permission to send over a lead magnet or a video. And then following up after that lead magnet, that's when you ask for the call. And, there's many ways to do that. You can send a generic video. The level above that is to send a personalized video every single time, which at scale doesn't really work. And while I can do that for myself, are my clients willing to do that? Or can I do it fast enough? Because speed is another key thing in cold email, right? You need to be responding in like less than 5 minutes. Like it should be in less than 2 minutes if possible. Yeah, so that's something a lot of my clients weren't willing to do. And something that has been working out for myself as, cold emails become a lot more saturated is just doing free work. So what I would do is since I'm selling cold email, I'm cold emailing people to sell cold email too. And what I would do is I would write scripts for free for them so that they could use for their own cold email, right? And like, anyone can manually send cold emails. So I just wrote them scripts that they could do this for. And they're like, wow, that's pretty good. You got my attention. The fact that you're cold emailing me, you didn't land in spam. You must be doing something right. I want you to do something the same for my business, right? So that's how I grew pretty quickly. I mean, to 10K a month, like decently from zero, because I restarted from the Aussie market, Australian market to the US. And yeah, but yeah, as I said, during this like Easter time, there's lots of uncertainty in the cold email space, right? The coaching program, the original coaching program I was in, I spoke to some guys in there. A lot of the founders being super quiet, not really talking much about the deliverability updates when it was super like a huge thing, which I found pretty weird, right? And at this point, I was thinking like, damn, I'm making more money than I ever have, but this is fucked. Like every single week there was some new bullshit coming out, like people saying, should you warm up emails? Like warming up means you're sending emails back and forth in the pool of other emails. So it looks like legit and it's a real person doing it. But yeah, like people were saying, don't warm up. People were saying, use this infrastructure. People were saying use Google. People were saying use Outlook, use this private sending tool, SMTP providers. And there's just lots of uncertainty in the market, right? And as a cold email agency owner, I had to do this for myself and my clients, that I had to test everything because there was no right answer. Some people were doing fine with just Google. Some people were doing fine with just Outlook for cold email. Some people were buying their domains at Porkbun on GoDaddy. And all of this was working. Basically every single thing worked for some people and didn't work for some people. And during this time, I was spending a lot of time on Twitter, like a shit ton of time. And yeah, just fucking shiny object syndrome central in terms of cold email. Like everyone's trying to sell the shovel in the gold mine, if you know what I mean. So what I was constantly seeing was a lot of these cold email agency owners, they would shut down their agency and pivot to like a SaaS or pivot to a completely new agency. You know, instead of doing cold email, they do cold email and ads and cold calling. I knew someone who switched completely to Instagram DMs and Facebook DMs, right? But a lot of these cold email agency owners who, you know, I'm friends with because we do the same thing and we talk a lot on Twitter. They ended up creating like infrastructures or like SMTP providers saying like, hey, don't use Google, don't use Outlook, use this new thing that we made and it's super safe and it 100% deliverability. And everyone was coming up with these offers. And this started to make me really question, like, am I doing the right thing by continuing this, cold email agency? And the thing that's always stuck with me was, if you know that meme where it's like mining for diamonds and the guy giving up. So I'm like, is this the point where I'm giving up right in front of the diamonds? Should I not just be tackling and just sticking with cold email? Because if you think about it, Facebook, if I had a Facebook ads agency, the algorithm changes a lot. Like, the same thing could happen. Like if there's a deliverability crisis going on, there could be a Facebook ad crisis going on too. However, and actually the main thing that stopped me, so this at around like June, I knew I should have pivoted. Like this is when I was like, fuck, I should start pivoting. I didn't, because looking back, I should have never stopped doing my Facebook ads lead generation agency. I should have never stopped that. That was pure shiny object syndrome, and that was getting advice from a founder who just didn't know more about me. And it's not his fault. It's my fault because I didn't give him enough context. And he just told me what he thought was the best, which as he should, right? But yeah, I should have known better. I should not have switched that. But anyway, I thought, is this one of those moments again? Am I just going to switch again right before I've hit the gold, the diamonds, right? And yeah, after talking to a lot of people, and I'm telling like a lot of people, a lot of other cold email, because, I was posting a lot on Twitter and got a lot of inbound DMs from not just people trying to do cold email, but like, established cold email agency owners. And they would email me saying like, yo, like you're posting a lot of stuff. Yeah. So I was still posting as if everything was okay. Like I never talked about the deliverability crisis. I was saying like, hey, these are the scripts, like just providing value in my post as I would, right? So I would post things like, this is the best script template, or these are the best replies to use, or this is how many emails you should be sending per account, like things like that. And I'd provide a lot of value, and a lot of people, like I started to build decent credibility on Twitter. Like I got to 600 plus followers, which isn't a lot, but all my followers were super niche, and they're all agency owners themselves trying to do cold email. Anyway, I would be getting a lot of inbound DMs from guys like who are pretty established. And obviously I'm not going to name them, but essentially what they were doing was similar to me. We were all putting on what I like to call like a poker face, like not talking about the deliverability crisis, talking about everything's okay, but really like in the inside we're crying. I'm getting 2% reply rates for my clients when I used to get 10%. And the big thing for me, actually something I need to touch on, is cold email obviously still works, right? it's changed now. Before, I could take a completely shit business with no social proof, without even a website, and generate the meetings, right? Now, you need the whole funnel, as in you need content. That's a huge thing. You need a good website. You need to have a VSL on your website. I'm not saying you need these things, but these help a lot. Like, you need a YouTube channel. You need to show your face everywhere. You need a good Instagram. What else? You need to be running retargeting ads, and you need good SEO for your name and for your company name. And you need really good case studies, video case studies, like things you can't fake. And that's what I saw, because I had a couple of clients. That's what I saw work with the good clients, like who are getting results. They all had all these things in common. Like, they were running everything else, and they're just really sharp operators. Whereas the clients I wasn't getting good results with, they had nothing, and they kind of just relied on me to book meetings to save their business because they had nothing, right? So yeah, I knew this, and I was like, but how many people are willing to do this? People aren't wanting people want a done for you service, so that they can get the result done for you, right? They don't want to be filming looms. They don't want to be making case studies. They don't even want to improve their website. So I thought, like, this is like back in June, where I was thinking, like, gosh, like, is this the right thing? Is the right vehicle? I need to only be finding, like, the current clients, like my goods clients. Like, I need to be finding those type of people. And the main way I was getting my clients was cold email. So it's like, how do I know that these owners are willing to do all this other stuff? And if I bring that up on my own sales calls, is that going to turn them off, right? All these little things. And even the inbounds I was getting, I had to turn people down because they weren't willing to, I guess, make all this content. And then that's when I sort of pivoted into a done with you model, right? Because I was like, I can't guarantee results because of XYZ. So what I'll do is I'll set it up for you. I'll teach you how to do it. And that's it. It actually worked quite well. And I had clients who got really good results off that. And usually I would work with their SDR or BDR, so like business development manager, who would manage, like, who does all the outbound sales. They do the cold calls, and they would run this cold email thing that I would teach them how to do. That worked really well. That was something, like, that was good. I was adapting. I was like, okay, done for you, cold email completely. I mean, what I was thinking was like running ads and cold email, but I was like, that's too much operationally. Plus, what credibility do I have running ads? I mean, yes, I did for real estate agents, but can I do it for agencies? I don't know. But yeah, so I did this done with you model, and that worked. That's actually the thing that got me to 10K a month. I mean, me selling a lot of those. However, it wasn't recurring. It was just one-time fees. Yeah, so that worked, but still, I was still getting the issue of, people not wanting to do the extra work, people not getting good results, right? Which was funny because I was getting good results. I was generating meetings for myself, right? Anyway, now that's out of the way, let me go back to where I was with posting content, right? So I was posting a lot of cold email content. A lot of people saw me as a authority figure in the space. And then I started getting inbound DMs, even in communities I was in, right? Like the courses and programs I bought, and like just old friends from other programs. They were saying like, yo, like, keep in mind, all these people are running like established cold email agencies, not beginners, right? They're like, yo, you seem to know what you're doing. Can I hop on a call with you? Because I'm getting fucked. Like, they're like, my cold email results are like fucked. My clients are churning. My clients are not happy. Like, you need to help me out, brother. And essentially, I'd some of them I'd just like say, this is what I'm doing. This is what works for me and for my good clients. I don't want to tell you what's right or wrong because, there's so much uncertainty. But some of these people I got on calls with, and, they're telling me how screwed they were. And I was just like, to be honest, man, I'm just as screwed as you. I'm putting on a poker face on Twitter, but a lot of my results have tanked. And it's just not it. And then, yeah, that was actually the main reason what got me into thinking to pivot, is the fact that I'm speaking to these established cold email agency owners who are shutting down their agencies, starting SaaSes, starting new agencies, or asking me. I haven't even been in the cold email space. I mean, like, cold email agency space for more than like 6 months, maybe, at this point. And I was like, why are these guys who make more money than me, are more established, have been doing this for years, asking me for advice. That shows that this industry is getting fucked. And as much as, like, actually, I spoke to my mentor at the time, and I was saying, like, what should I do? Like, I have all these issues. People are coming up to me. Like, it's a clear, like, issue. It's not necessarily shiny object syndrome. It's a clear issue. And he's like, I'll give you two options. Either you keep doing what you're doing, or you just shut up. He's like, either you keep doing what you're doing, like the cold email agency, and you just shut up about deliverability and never talk about it again, or you just pivot, and that's the choice you made. You pivoted. There's no turning back. Actually, so there's like two owners of the program that I was in. That's what one of them said. The other said, keep running your agency, but learn a skill on the side. If I were you, I would do Facebook ads. Because that's the most natural thing. You sell to the same ICP, you're just doing Facebook ads. I thought, okay, I kind of had, I've spent close to 100K in ad spend for my real estate clients, right? So I know a thing or two about Facebook ads, but not for agencies. I mean, I was running it for myself as part of the program, but I didn't actually know how to book calls. I mean, I kind of understood it, but I didn't know it like too well. So that's what I was heavily considering doing. And I even asked some of my clients, and some of them said, yeah, like cold email's not working. I'd love for you to run my ads. And I was planning to do it for free just to test things out and use obviously their ad spend. But yeah, essentially June was when I was like, I need to start pivoting. I told myself, I'm like, I should probably pivot like by the end of the year. Like by the end of the year, I don't see myself running the cold email agency anymore, or at least like only the cold email agency. I must be doing something on the side, or cold emails. Like maybe I'm keeping my current clients, whatever, right? And yeah, so this is June. So like what? June, July, August, September. Yeah. So like in September, late September, when it was when I made the final call, I was learning Facebook ads, or like I was considering doing Facebook ads for the same ICP, which is marketing agencies. But yeah, that didn't work out because I guess I had an opportunity come to me where I met a co-founder, my current co-founder now of my new agency. And yeah, this is probably for another video, but long story short, he used to work at some of the biggest agencies here in Australia, like marketing agencies, like locations in Melbourne. And he just didn't resonate with what they were doing because it was such a churn and burn model, over promising, under delivering, heavy marketing, heavy sales, which he didn't like. And then he's a very introverted guy. And he's like, hang on, you, Matteo, you've run agencies before. You're really good at content. You're really good at cold email. Why don't you do that, and I'll handle all the back end. So yeah, long story short, we decided to partner up, and that's what I'm doing now. So I'm doing a healthcare marketing agency. So we're running ads for dentists, chiropractors, osteos, physios here in Australia, not in the US anymore. So I don't have to do night shift. But yeah, and that's been going pretty good. And guess what the main method of us getting new clients is? Cold email, because it works, right? It's not dead. It works. You just need to do the extra stuff to make it work. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I've done. Right now it's November, and I still have a couple clients that I'm working with because just for respect, they kind of need me for the cold email, and I agreed to help them for a long time, and they want to stay on, and they're paying me well, so I decided to keep them going. I still jump on calls with them. I still write the copy for their campaigns and the lead list. I do have an inbox manager who I train to manage all that stuff, but yeah, like I'm still very much in the fulfillment of that. I'm not taking any more cold email clients. I've actually been people have reached out to me saying, hey, your Calendly is not open. Can you open it all? I want to book a call with you. And I said, do I need short-term money? No. I want to stick to my new agency that I got now. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. I turn people down because I'm not desperate for for money, and I want to focus on the long-term thing. So I'm saying no to people. But yeah, that's why I guess I shut down my 11K a month cold email agency. Main reason being because of the advice I've got from mentors, did my own thinking. This is not shiny object syndrome. It's a real concern. Google and Outlook are actively trying to do this, or actively trying to ban cold email. My biggest competitors are like, I guess, established people in my space asking me for advice because of what I'm posting on Twitter, putting on a poker face, showing that everything's okay when it's really not. Those were the main factors that got me to pivot. But the main one actually being the fact that right place at the right time with my co-founder who I met. And yeah, it just made sense. So that's what I'm doing now. Cold email is still something that I will be doing for any business that I do. I mean, my main goal is to keep running my healthcare marketing agency for, the next 10, 20 years. But yeah, like we're definitely using cold email. It's working. It's what we used to sign our first couple of clients. And yeah, cold email's not going anywhere for me. I just thought running it as an agency, as a done for you service, just isn't a thing anymore. As a done with you service, maybe, but then it's not as scalable, and that's not what I'm, that doesn't help me reach my goals. So yeah, could I have kept the cold email agency going? 100%. I have friends who are still doing it and still, it's just, you have to buy more domains. It's just a bit more expensive, but it still works. And the fact it's working for my new business shows that it clearly works. I guess just at the point where I was at, I wasn't like super, super established, but I was doing okay. I just thought it'd be better going to a different route because, yeah, it was hard for me to find those ideal clients who are willing to do the extra work to make cold email work. But yeah, as I said, I've got friends who are still running their cold email agencies and doing super well. So it still works. But that's just the reason why I chose what I did. Was it the wrong move? I don't know. We'll see. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. But yeah, this is what I'm doing now. And yeah, I guess that's why I haven't been posting much on my YouTube. But yeah, as I said, I'm still running my cold email for my current clients now, and I'm running it for myself for my new business. So yeah, that's it for the video. Peace out.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.